Hi everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hello, 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 everybody. We are just waiting on Pam, who somehow didn't get my link, and I just sent it to her. So, hi everyone. Hi Lydia, I see you there, and Elaine, and Julia, and Emerald, and Hildy, and Emma, and let's see who else is here. Susie, I see a hi Susie. Did I miss where Susie? Susie Q, I see you there. Julia, and let's see who else is here. Elaine, I think I said Elaine already. Joyce and Rosa, hi. And let's see, Dory, Annie, Kenita. Kenita, I hope that's how you say your name. Let me know in the chat if that's how you say your name. And and Sarah, they're all here as we wait on Pam, who is checking in as we speak. Hi. Hope you guys have had a fantastic day. And give me a thumbs up or hello. Um, if you're hearing me. Hi, Lydia, I see you. So give me a hi, a big wave. Hi, Lola. Um, so I know you're here. So, anyways, oh my goodness, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Um, I hope you guys, wherever you are today, Saturday, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Um, I know same can't be said for those on Shutter Island, but we at Sussex Squad are having a great day. Um, so, anyways, hi, let's see who else is there. Emerald, Valerie, Thierry is here. Nutty Doctor is here. Hello. So welcome. And as you know, this is a channel that we support the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Um, we are, biased and petty. A lot of times we're probably more biased than petty. But that's okay. We are biased and we're petty. And, we are here for our faves, Harry, Meghan, baby Archie. Well, why do I keep saying baby Archie? Big boy Archie, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, and our awesome baby Lily. Yes, we are here for her. And so yeah, so if you're, again, I always say this, if you're here to troll, please don't leave any comments because we are not here for that. If we see any trolling, we will block you, right? And our awesome moderator will just put you in timeout forever. So, so don't do that. But anyways, welcome. So let's see why Pamela isn't here still. Let me make sure she got her email. So, um, anyway, so today we've had some amazing news. Uh, one of the things that Shutter Island is going crazy about. This whole thing has been going on about whether Prince Harry is going to, be going back to England for that service, for I guess a Thanksgiving service to Prince Philip. And so we've got the word from Sussex camp that no, Prince Harry will not be returning to the UK for the service of Thanksgiving for the life of Prince Philip on March 29th. He does, however, hope to visit the Queen as soon as possible. And it's very funny because I think if you know anything about Prince Philip, I don't know necessarily that Prince Philip. Oh, hi Danielle Medical. Hi. So, our Two Cents crew. Oh, here's Pam. Pam is joining us. Hey, Pam.
Hey guys, hey everyone.
I'm like filling in before you came. I was just talking about uh, uh, the Duke of Sussex or Prince Harry not going back to England. So, and I would say, if you know Prince Philip and know about Prince Philip, I don't necessarily think this is something Prince Philip wants, because he is such a guy, he's such a no fuss person that I'm like, he didn't even want to fuss for his funeral. I don't necessarily know that he wants to be part of this. Did you see that, Pam?
Um, yeah, I think I did. Why is that? There's a delay. I'm sorry, there's a delay in my voice.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
yeah, I think I saw that briefly on. Hi everyone, by the way. I think I saw that briefly on Twitter. Someone saying that he didn't. Well, yeah, I think we all knew he doesn't want a fuss because even his
Right.
whole funeral was very intentional in terms of he outlined exactly what he needed, and he didn't want all the pageantry and all that stuff. So, I mean, if the queen is not going, most likely not going. I think she's not going because she already paid her respect. She was at the
Right.
funeral, and Harry did the same. So then, what's the hoopla about? I mean, I don't understand. Except, it's just Harry, so they need to make a big deal about it. But yep,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because Harry, I mean, Harry's gonna be in Europe, he's gonna be in at the Hague for next month actually for Invictus. So it's for me, I couldn't see Harry making, two trips like at the end of March, March 29th, and then going back, again, because Invictus starts on, what is it, April 16th, so making two trips. And I love what Harry says here. I mean, if you can see the screenshot of Omid Scobie's screenshot, he's like, Harry's like, but he does, however, hope to visit the Queen as soon as possible. He's like, not even thinking of like the rest of them. It's like, Harry is about or just about the queen. He's like, no, I'm just interested in seeing the queen, you know.
right,
But
absolutely.
yeah, and then it's so, and I think, I don't know if you've, I've been on Twitter. I was on Twitter earlier this morning and just seeing the outrage from, royal reporters. Um, Many people were like posting screenshots of their outrage, and it was just like, what this is, this is nothing to do with really Prince Philip. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Sonia. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, for the super sticker. um Much appreciated. They were just, that this is nothing really to do with Prince Philip. This is more about, we want to see, if he's gonna come with Meghan and the kids so we can get shots, so we can get, we can pay our bills, basically. And so I'm like, this is about, I mean, I don't know how private this is, this event is going to be, but why would you think, you would even if Harry was there, that you would even get shots of him, So now that they're really not getting, everybody is, freaking out to the point where they're like, oh my goodness. One of them even literally wrote today about Prince Harry's second father, Mark Dyer, apparently, supposedly he was in the hospital having surgery. And so they're trying to guilt Harry into coming back to see Mark Dyer. I mean, that's how low they would go.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Hey Sonia, we appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up with stuff in the comments. I'm just in the comments reading. Um, let's see. Oh wait, Lydia, what are you talking about? Julia, I think only Petal of Pam can add you. I don't know what Julia is asking for. Um, Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
what?
Oh, I can wrench. Lydia, I can. Oh, I don't know what Lydia's asking for. I'm not sure. Um, but anyways, yeah. So I wanted to, you could just jump in here and chat because I think obviously there's a lot going on, and some of you were on a few spaces, Twitter spaces yesterday, and was it yesterday? Or the day before? Can't remember. I think
It
it was
was
yesterday.
something.
I wasn't those yesterday. I was on a few, one that I just like left on and went about doing stuff and then came back and was still going on. I was like, oh, actually, I think I was kicked off because it like they kicked us all off and then we rejoined, I think. Um, but it was very interesting. The one with Denise Headley, I think her name is,
Oh,
uh,
uh-huh.
for was very interesting. And in terms of, as we know, this week was the last week was the first year 1 year anniversary of that of Oprah's interview, and so she had our one and only Rail Suda on,
Mhm.
and that was really really amazing. I think what I wanted to find out today, and I'm sure Pedro already has stuff that she talked about, but I also want to find out from you guys what your take was. If any of you, first of all, if any of you were on that in that space, and what you thought about that whole conversation. On my end though, I figured I don't think Rosita was given enough time to speak to answer Thorough, because she it's um, a vault of knowledge and information, and I, I honestly don't think she had the chance to really explain everything to details, which would have been great, and had people ask questions. But that was just side note. I think she could have had given more time and not interrupted. Um, Thanks, Natty Doctor. We appreciate it. Valerie, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so what was your thoughts about that? And how many of you were on that one? And then I think, and then also Tina and uh, Farah had one as well.
Oh wow.
And
Oh, before you go, Nutty Doctor, thank you so much for the super sticker.
I
And
know, I just said thank you to both of them.
oh, sorry, I was like trying to find it. I didn't hear you. Sorry,
No worries. I said
I
thank you
wasn't
to
paying
both of
attention.
them. That's so yeah, yeah. So yeah, I wanted to find out from you guys if any of you were on it, and if you were, what were your thoughts? Because I think it's listen, that show, or that sorry, it's a show, that interview is to be dissected for the ages, right? That I think people will probably write papers on and theories on and thesis rather on, and it's so. Anyways, was anyone on it? And if you were, what were your thoughts? What
Oh,
was your
Joyce?
thoughts?
Yeah, Joyce was on it. She says, I listened to the Royal Suda podcast. It was very good. She could have been given more time, but I think she did over some good points. She did
Mm,
over some good points. I'm assuming
yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things that she answered that she debunked was somebody, which she was really gracious, and then the squaddie also actually said, "Hey, she's grateful that that was answered about Harry being the for a while that narrative was going on, right? That Harry was the one who created the QBC and then handed it over to the Queen.
Mhm.
Um, and I've heard that so many times. I never really found anything about that. And I guess I didn't really research it to confirm it. So, but then I did understand. It didn't make complete sense to me. But I was like, oh well, if somebody probably said it, then it must be true, because it
Mhm.
was quite. It was prevalent in the squatty in the community. So, but Royal Suda debunked that. Said no. What they usually do is that the Queen funded the QBC, or what you call it. What is it? The QBC or QVC, whatever you call it.
Queen's Commonwealth
Yeah,
Trust.
QC. Yeah, QC. Yeah. Anyway,
QCT.
so was that?
QCT, the Queen's
Oh,
Commonwealth
QCT.
Trust.
Yeah, yeah, it's QCT. So yeah, so apparently she funded it, and then what they do is when they fund it, they give it to a member of the royal family to rededicate to the queen, right? Kind of like re-present it to the queen. So,
Mhm.
so that was what it was. It was done that she funded it, founded it, and then gave it to the trustees, gave it to Harry to rededicate to the queen. So that was what it was. The language, the verbiage in that whole QCT announcement was confusing, which
They
is what
just
I
make
think.
things so difficult. Why didn't just the Queen just give it to her? Like that's why people get confused because they always make things so difficult and confusing.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what it was said, and which was like, yeah, that whole verbiage was very confusing. So you would think Harry was the one who founded it and then gave it to the queen when it was the queen who funded it. But then what it does is that they pick somebody from the royal family who will re-gift it to the queen. Which I don't know. I don't understand the whole process, but
Exactly, exactly. That's why people may have had that. Like I hadn't paid. I heard that, but I hadn't paid much attention to who owned it and who. I mean, other than I knew the Sussexes were president of it. Beyond that, I didn't really go
yeah.
into who owned it and who or where it came from. So yeah.
Yeah, it was so that was that I think that for me that was quite um good to confirm because I have heard that or read that online in the Twitter space for Twitter world for a bit and so it was good to really clarify that so which was really good.
Yeah. Diane Hawkins, Diane said, it was good hearing the facts, clearing up the QCT and other matters, but still clear that Prince William, yes, Prince William is racist. Yeah.
Yeah, well that's trending. That's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
trending.
Yeah. That
Um
was trending all of the last 2 days.
Completely. Yeah. And then what else stood out to, I mean, I think that was great to be talked about. But what I also was a little bit, which was Tina and I had that conversation when Tina and Farah had their space. When I said, I was quite amazed that Denise did not know what QCT was. She was like, what is it? What is that? And Royal Suda had to explain to her what QCT was.
Well,
Um,
isn't she a political commentator though? I don't think she is that up on the. She may not be that up on the royals. I think she said she's a political. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but a
I know.
political
I know she
commentator.
had, but I'm saying that that wasn't the only thing too. It's more so a few things were brought up, which she didn't know. And my overall point I want to make is that it just it confirmed the fact that, which I mean, I already knew that a lot of Black Brits are not into the monarchy, right?
Right.
In irrespective of what status they have, unless they're affiliated with the monarchy or have one of those MBEs or whatever they give them, or are just plain, flat out royalists. They don't really care.
Right.
They wouldn't know those things because in the beginning I was like, what does it mean she doesn't know? But then it's like, how many Americans know anything about politics or the presidency or anything like that, right? They don't even
Right.
know who the VP is or who uh so that would make sense if I think of it that way. I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
that that definitely makes sense just because, but I will
Yeah.
say though,
Yeah.
if anyone in politics in America would know these things, anything
Yeah.
about American politics or, anything of that nature. So again, there was a little bit of an element of surprise for me,
Hmm.
but
She was.
but
Yeah.
overall, I can also understand where the Black Brits were like, listen, this is colonization, and I'm not into it. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, Nutty Doctor says that the QDC was one of the patronages given to Harry. Meghan became vice president on appointment by the Queen, and it was taken back when they stepped back. Exactly when they.
yeah, well, that's true. But the fact of the matter is that the QCT was not Harry did not found the QCT, which was the
Right.
narrative that
Exactly.
was
Was the Queen.
going on. Yeah, and then the squatter who brought it up wasn't asking a question about it. She was actually stating a supposedly fact, which is where uh lawyer Suda was jumped in and said, no, actually, that isn't what it is. This is what it was. So yeah. But
Hmm.
yeah, you're right. Harry and Meghan became vice president and they took it back when they left. The royal family took it back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about that too is even though they have taken it back, even though they took it back, Harry and Meghan still support the QDC because Harry's company, Better Up, actually freely give them, techniques and give them some of their, what do you call it, their program free of charge to, the kids in the Commonwealth. And so I think
Well,
that's one of their charity the charity things that they're doing at Better Up, and one of it is giving those techniques to the young people that's part of QTC. So I'm just like, I think for me that's just Harry and Meghan's heart, that they
yeah.
are just here to serve, and and it's not about whether they are president or vice president or have any role per se in in an organization. They are invested in the people, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and then did the president of the QCT resign?
Yeah, she did. I
And
think
then
she resigned officially, but she's still with it in some way. Yeah. I don't remember.
Kathleen,
Yeah.
Kathleen Duggan said, "I listened. So much was covered in the interview, and interesting to hear Rose Suda and others' opinion." Yeah, that's true. Um, wait. Annie said, "I read that article at Daniel, and it's so true." I'm not sure what Annie's talking about. Uh, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Daniel and I read that right
So,
before the
do you have
chat.
any more on this, or can we move on?
Um, oh yeah, no, I was asking people so about her and Tina's chat because what that chat was quite interesting in spaces as well, where a lot of what
Pam, you
what
sound
I
like you're in
learned.
a Pamela, you sound like you're in a dungeon.
I'm actually I don't know. I might still sound like because I am on speaker. I don't even have my AirPods on.
Oh, that's okay.
Can you
Go
guys
ahead.
can you guys hear me? If you can
Oh,
hear
here
me,
you go. Now you're back.
if you guys can hear me clearly, give a thumbs up or something. They said,
Here
uh,
we go. Hmm.
okay, sound is fine. Okay, well, sounds so cool. So yeah, so no, I learned a lot about Jamaica as well yesterday from one of the spaces. Would you guys agree how the Jamaica Prime Minister, because I brought up this conversation because I have a coworker who is Jamaican, and we were having this conversation, and she said how Jamaica would, it's going to be challenging because now their prime minister or president, I think they have prime minister, have accepted an award, one of those honorary titles from the Queen, and so, and that is why William and his wife are coming over, and the whole point was the conversation was that now it's going to be really challenging for them to really go against under this prime minister, go against the Queen.
Yeah,
Whereas
Pam,
most
your
of
quality, the sound quality is really bad.
as
It's
it what
going in and out. Yeah, that's what we're getting from. Yeah.
we're getting
You're,
from where?
you're, huh?
I'm sorry, we're getting from where? Still poor
Okay,
sound.
here we go. Stay wherever you are. Stay right there, because now it's better.
Well,
Here
I
we
didn't
go.
really move, really.
Okay.
I'm actually exactly where I am. I didn't really move.
I
Um,
don't know why.
so, so yeah, so yeah, so it was really, really good to hear how Jamaica, in terms of how Barbados had left the Commonwealth, and Jamaica. So that conversation was also quite interesting for me to hear from Jamaicans who were in the space, their take on it, right? And understanding if they are, if they agree with, if they even are aware that they're paying for William and his wife to come. And some of them were like, "No, we're not paying." And I think one was like, "It's in, but they're paying." It was insightful to say the least, and really learn how the Queen still owns um, lands in Jamaica. Like the Jamaica lands belongs to the Queen, which I don't understand why. So it was such an insightful conversation. Was anybody on that one as well?
I think one of the misunderstanding with even Jamaica is um is that they're not paying. They are paying. They are paying the most expensive part of the bill, which is the security. And so they are going to be paying a lot. And I still don't understand. I keep tweeting at their prime minister anytime I see anything. I'm like, this is how they're treating your people. He's never responded, but I keep tweeting at him. So, and
Yeah,
wholeness. If you guys
yeah,
are on Twitter, maybe you could send him articles as well. You know.
right. Yeah, it's oh God, it's sad for me. I mean, the Queen owns about 6 billion something in land, all over the world, by through obviously through colonization, right? So, um, hey Reba, do I still sound like I'm underwater? She says,
You sound better now. I don't know what
uh,
you did, but you definitely sound better now.
because Reba says, you sound much better. Oh, you sound much better now. Okay, thanks, Reba. I got it. Okay, so yeah, so that was interesting to me just to learn about. the Queen and the way the Commonwealth and that whole process from Jamaicans, right, who live in Jamaica, and even how some of them think they own the land, and then others were like, "No, we don't own the land." I was like, "Oh wow, interesting."
Yeah. And what's interesting with that as well, is that I think the England, or the UK, have they owe Jamaica about $3 trillion in reparations. And there was a video actually. I also tagged the prime the prime minister of that video as well. That talks about all the reparations that's owed to the Caribbean, in Africa. Um, and like, why are you welcoming these people, paying their huge tax bill while they owe you all this money? So that's, yeah, that was very much.
Right? Yeah. It's
So why are you paying their bill when they owe you money? They should be bringing money to you, not you paying money to them.
well,
Or
that
paying
well,
their
that
security
even
bill.
that and that's a fact, which they should. But here's the case: they're about to do the Windrush. They're about to deport a whole lot of Jamaicans to Jamaica, and they're just holding up until
Yeah,
you know William and his wife shows up and do their little thingy. Like, how confusing and just dehumanizing is that? Like, the same people you don't accept for them to live in your country, but you make money out of Jamaica because you have corporations in Jamaica who you funnel money through, and then yet you want to pause on just dehumanizing them again until you go visit them, and then you have them use their taxes to entertain and spend money on you, the money that they don't have, and then when you leave, you send more people to their economy that they have to take care of. Like, does that even make sense?
no, I mean, it's the humiliation. It's that is how, that's what they do. It's the humiliation of it. It's you know. Let's see. Sonia says the Prime Minister of Jamaica may have gotten a title, but the Jamaican people did not. They should make their voices. They should make their voices known loud and clear about this visit. And I absolutely agree with you, Sonia. I am very surprised how quiet it has been. That not many Jamaicans have been speaking out, and being from the Caribbean and knowing that mentality, they will welcome them. Don't expect Jamaicans to be protesting on the. I would honestly be very surprised because I grew up with that mentality. And unfortunately, I would want to see Jamaicans on the street protest, especially if nothing else about how the Jamaicans and the UK have been treated, especially the Windrush generation. I would want that. I would be like, if I was there, be like organizing groups to be out there protesting. I just don't think. I mean, they've been so quiet, and maybe I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. I just don't see them doing it. And if the prime minister is just so accommodating, and actually Prince William, a couple of days ago, and I didn't realize we were going to talk about this, so I would have screenshotted it, that from the court circular that Prince William met with, I guess, either the ambassadors of Belize, Bahamas, and Jamaica 2 days ago I think at Kensington Palace. So their people are very much on board with this. If they met with him, nobody is really denouncing it. Nobody is bringing up the Windrush generation. Nobody is bringing up reparations. So I just think that they will be welcomed. So
Hmm. Well,
it's
maybe,
unfortunate, but
yeah,
yeah.
it's unfortunate. But anyways, let's go on. What else?
Moving on to happier things. Prince Harry. I am so excited about this. I am like so excited about Invictus Games. I wish I was going. I'm not, unfortunately can't do it. But Invictus Games is coming up next month, which Prince Harry obviously is going to be in, not in England. Um, it's at Invictus Games Hague. It says Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is getting ready for the Netherlands with some Dutch lessons. We look forward to giving him a warm welcome in The Hague as we prepare for the games. Our thoughts are with Team Ukraine, obviously. They can't be there, as well as their friends and family. Hashtag Invictus Games. And oh my goodness, Prince Harry, and this is our Invictus Games. I don't know, you guys can tell us in the chat if you're going to be at the games. I know some squaddies are going. But here's Prince Harry! Pamela, did you see the video?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, this was such a fun
I
video
saw it.
of them teaching Prince Harry Dutch.
I saw it. I saw it this afternoon when I got on Twitter,
Yeah.
and I was like, and I was like, come on, Harry, you can pronounce that. Come on. But it was funny, and
I
just to
just
see
loved
him
it
in
so
his
much. I mean,
orange,
it's a hat.
see him in his orange outfit.
I know. And that's the thing I love about Harry. This is why I love Harry. I mean, can you imagine if the other brother tried to pull this off?
Nope. Nope.
This is just so
It will not
amazing.
even occur to William to do it. Like William
It would
will
just look weird.
be so stiff, and I'm sorry, I'm like having some nuts here. William will be so stiff and will not even. It doesn't even fit his disposition. That's not him.
Yeah, no, no. And that's the thing. Whenever he tries to do something like, really, I don't know, either silly or funny, it just comes across weird. He just doesn't have this. Here's Harry. Yes, we are ready. I love this so much.
Someone on Twitter, on TikTok, added a little music to it. It was a little clip when he got up and said, "We are ready." It was so good. I don't even know who did it, but I saw that briefly. I was like, "Oh, it sounds so a little bit gangster," and I was like, "Yeah."
I love this. Diane said the hat looks like it could fit Archie. Totally true.
Yeah, yeah. But Harry is a kid at heart. Harry is just a big kid at heart. And so this is why he can get away with these things. Like you're like, he can just really morph into the kid he's a kid again and just have fun. And for him, he's just having a good old time.
I
His
know.
doesn't take himself
I'm
seriously.
glad Harry's ignoring them. Wasn't it? Wasn't it said that the Sussexes were irrelevant and now they want them back to give me a break? Totally, Adrian. Totally.
Well, that's an ongoing saga. They'll keep saying that, Adrian. Like at this point, I don't even respond to that. It's like if any royal reporter says that, it's like they're just looking for clout. They want you to say something. They want to engage with you. It's like this is whatever.
Oh, Michelle, I hope not. Michelle is like maybe the reason why Harry was in Texas, he's looking for the next site to hold the Invictus next year. No, Michelle, no. I am advocating New York. Don't you even dare with Texas. No, Texas and Florida is a no.
I think New York isn't New York already campaigning for it?
Yeah, we're campaigning.
It's New York and Dallas.
Like, sure, no.
Yeah, it's New York.
New York.
It's New York and Dallas that are campaigning for both.
Oh, really?
Yeah, New York, Dallas, and Seattle. Let me see. I think so. We're campaigning for the next. Can you guys still hear me? Because I'm like, I
can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's New York and Dallas that are campaigning for the next Invictus game.
God, I mean, why would you? I'm sorry. I love you. I love sporties from Texas, but sorry, no.
It's space and location. No, but you have to think about it, right? It's space, location, and the ability to build something that can, encompass all of the activities. Well. So whatever. Listen, if it's in Texas, I will go. I don't care. I'll be flying.
Later, Pam. Like really?
I will go to Texas.
Arnold says Dallas is my hometown. Arnold, you are no longer my friend. So there.
I'll be in Texas. I love. It'll be in Dallas. I'll be in Dallas. I'm like, that would be fantastic. Either way, New York or Dallas, I'm game. It's in the United States. I'm not complaining. I'm
You,
like,
you live in New York. You're supposed to be just about New. I'm sorry. I'm completely biased about this. Just
mm,
my bias streak is coming
yeah.
out.
Well, thank God. Thank God you're not part of the decision team.
Yes. So why
Because
is Harry wearing orange? Orange is a color of it's a Dutch color apparently.
and it's like
Um,
it's for their it's a
Brazilian.
royal color for them, right?
Yeah, and there was someone from Denmark. They posted a picture. I think it was like either a rally or a march or something, and everyone was in this color. And the ambassador, the Dutch ambassador to England, also posted about Harry learning Dutch, and he on his profile he talks about an orange tie. So I think that's a very Dutch thing.
Yeah, it's their
So
color,
yeah,
it's their national color, I believe, and then it's also a royal color for them, I think.
right, okay.
So
What
so
is
yeah.
wrong with you? Twenty five girls 101's like I vote for Texas. This Iowa girl would definitely be there. Oh
Yeah, listen,
gosh.
I'll go to
Is
Texas. It's
there
only
anybody in here voting for New York? I mean, what is this?
but I'm voting for both. I'm voting for the United States, period. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's like
saying
saying you're a Mets fan and a Yankee fan. You
I
either a
don't
Mets
care.
fan or a Yankee fan. You can't be both. That's against like the law. I
I don't
mean,
care.
what's
I
wrong
don't
with you?
care what the rules are. I'm gonna go to either places. If the
Oh,
ultimate point is I get to possibly see Meghan and Harry, I don't care.
you could do it. Come to New
I
York.
will go.
Oh, Raven.
Listen, and then I get to
Raven is
see
like
some.
New Yorker unite. Thank you, Raven. Pam is a traitor.
No, I will be equally happy if it's in New York as well. And if it's in Dallas, I get to see Squiddies from Dallas. I get to see Squiddies from around those areas as well. And listen, I'm all game. I don't care. It's only 2.5 hours from New York, anyways.
I
I'll
just
be
don't
there.
relate. I'm like, it's like being both a Yankee and a Mets. I don't relate to people like that. It's like you can't. It's
Well,
like or being a Yankee and a Boston Red Sox fan. You just can't be both. You have to be one or the other.
well, that's a choice I have as
Okay, fine.
a choice I have as a human being. I can choose what I want, and I choose both New York and Dallas. Go Dallas.
Fine.
Although
Daniel
I'm
says
not
orange
ultimately.
is the Hague flag.
No,
Yep.
no. So here's the thing, though, Dallas. For those of you in Dallas or Texas, I am not about your politics, but I will go there if Harry and Meghan is there. So let's just
Okay.
get that straight. Because I see that they were like they're still. I saw your governor on the news today, and I was like, God, I can't. I really can't. I had to like really switch it off. Yes, Texas is beautiful. I hear you.
I know.
Um,
Raven says New York, New York, New York. Oh, and I'm a Yankee fan. Oh, Raven. Okay. I'm a Mets fan, but I love you.
Actually, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not a Met fan. I'm a Yankee. When I went to Dominican Republic, I went to the Yankees training grounds, and it was beautiful. Obviously, they have the money, so
Right. Yeah.
but it was they were very welcoming because I went with a friend of ours, Sharita, and it was just great. So I'm a
Okay.
Yankee fan. I cannot be a Met fan. I don't know why I would be a Met
I
fan.
knew we have so many differences, Pam. We need to talk. Annie says whether Texas or New York, I'll be there.
Mhm.
Oh, fine,
Mhm.
Annie. I got it.
Yeah. Listen, even now, even if it happens to be in Canada, V Thomas, I will be in Canada. That's not far from me. I will fly to Canada for the Invictus game. Like seriously, anywhere like North America, I'm game. So
Diane says, no worries, Pedal. You could come to Texas and bring all New York with you and set it down in West Texas with plenty of room to spare. You're right. You guys are one of the the biggest state in the country. So yeah, I think so. We're so
Sonia,
little. Diane is like, I'll take the
yeah,
shade, Diane. I love you though. She's like, New York is so little, you could just bring it and plop it down in West Texas, and
listen,
you'll have plenty.
there's so much
Annie's so
space
right
in
too.
Texas. There's so much space in Texas. You have to give them that. Texas has
Yes,
they have the
yes.
space. So if that's the case, because New York, listen, I mean, unless we use somewhere in Queens, right, to build Rockaway area, Queens, to build a new place for the Invictus game, which It's fine. Traveling there will be chaotic and
Uh-huh.
hard, but it's still in New York. But Texas
Yeah.
has the space, the landscape to put up, an amazing stadium and tracks, and and they even have the place where people can sail. Right? They have, I think they have,
Mm.
they do that. Have uh, uh, lakes or ocean, or not ocean. Do they have ocean in Texas? I don't even know. I'm
Oh,
horrible.
no, I've never been to Texas.
Um,
Everyone's just like Yankees, or like, are there no Mets fan in here? Like, how is it possible that I love you guys and there are no Mets fan in there? We're like, I totally don't know normally relate to Yankees fans, but like everyone here is a Yankee fan who's in New York. Like, what is this? No Mets fan. Like, how is this? How is this possible?
oh, oh, Helen says Germany.
I not today, Germany. Not today,
um,
Helen.
listen, I did say North America is a priority, but I wouldn't mind doing. I've been to Germany once. I don't mind going back.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I've never been to
Germany
Europe. I
is
was supposed to do Europe in 2020 when the pandemic hit. So
Germany is such. I mean, some part of Europe, but Germany was very, very clean. That's one thing I left with. Like,
yeah.
you can't even drop a piece of paper; you will have to pick it up. Um, so, but yeah, I don't
Oh
mind
look,
Germany.
Kathleen says I don't think Texas is on the short list. New York, Seattle, or Canada are options.
Oh,
Thank you,
no.
Lord.
Okay. I didn't know. I knew it was Seattle was in there. I didn't know it was Seattle, New York, and Canada. I'm surprised
Okay.
Texas is
Yeah,
not
I
on
didn't.
there.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Was it Vancouver? I think it was where in Vancouver.
But they've had it at Vancouver before. That was the year in
Oh,
which
oh.
they
Wait,
they
where?
they came out. They became a couple. They were
Oh, was
publicly a
it
couple. Was it
Vancouver?
Vancouver?
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So maybe it's another place then. Never mind. That's my wrong information.
So, but anyways, listen. If it's in Canada, like I said, I will go. It's North America. It's not far.
Yeah. But I mean,
Um,
is anybody going? I mean, I don't know if anybody is in the chat is going. It should be so exciting. I mean, I know, and I think I mentioned on the last podcast. Right now they should be filming the Heart of Invictus, which is the whole premise of it is filming the athletes in the lead up to the games. So they should be, and they have producers and directors. I think about three or four sets of them that I'm assuming will go to different training sessions or around the world filming. Filming. Oh, Hildy said it was Toronto that the games was not Vancouver. So,
oh, okay.
so so they should be doing that right now. In my mind last week when I was trying to sit there and try to figure out why Harry's in Texas, I was thinking maybe because there are about five army bases, five military, not just army, there are air force as well, military bases in Fort Worth, Texas. So I was thinking maybe he's there filming because right now, again, Invictus is next month. So right now they are filming all of those stories for the documentary, and in the lead up to the games. And I'm assuming in at the Hague as well, they'll be filming obviously the games that will be part of the documentary. So I wouldn't be surprised if Harry pop up in different states if he's just going to be in the U.S. If he pops up in different states at different places where Invictus athletes are going to be, and or if he even pops over to Europe or wherever. I mean, providing stuff with the wars and going worse than it already is. It's already horrible. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I am so excited about this. Like I I just absolutely love this. So I'm like I'm looking forward to this documentary.
Yeah, that makes sense. That I can see that if that's what he's doing in Texas. Oh, he's just trying to go to a good old barbecue in Texas. You know,
I was just fantasizing. That was what was in my head. I have no
because
idea why he was
he
there.
went to he went to.
Just
I have to
speculating.
say though, I know there are other states on this chat, and I haven't been to any other states for barbecue. I've only gone to Texas for barbecue.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, you need to go to Wyoming. Wyoming has, before I became vegan, Wyoming has the best barbecue.
Texas would disagree because even like they they are known for the big barbecue grill pits. Like it's huge. I'm
Wyoming?
like, no, Texas, Dallas. I've been in Dallas. It's like the. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's so big. It's ridiculous. I was just like, how do you eat all of this? This is a
Yeah.
lot of
Well,
food, and the
Wyoming.
line.
I was doing a show in Wyoming, and we were staying on literally at the top of a mountain with this very rich in this very rich man's house. He literally has a log cabin, a honest to God log cabin, literally at the top of the mountain. And they owned like massive amounts of property, and they would do these barbecues. And that was the first time I was eating salmon and other things that they were barbecuing, and they did it on like a, I think it was apple wood or something like that. They did it. It was the most amazing thing ever. So I mean, again, I've never been
Yeah,
to
but that's just one person who is like that's somebody. You're saying like you're referring to someone who's doing it, but in Texas, and I only been to Dallas, but I'm saying I'm sure it's all over. They have restaurants just dedicated to like huge, humongous. You see the meat just being grilled like huge big fires. It's
yeah.
not like somebody who's doing it and that owns it. This is what they do on the weekends. They drive to these places and enjoy. And I'm telling you, it's
The
hundreds
barbecue.
upon hundreds of people lined up.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, no,
insane.
well, okay. I again,
But
I've never
anyway,
been to Texas, but Wyoming I did. I was probably one of the only black people in Wyoming.
yeah.
Oh no, actually me and this other guy I saw. I was just like, hey,
Uh, Arnold says
it was wonderful though. I enjoyed it.
I've been all over the U.S. Haven't found any better than Texas.
Yeah.
Uh, and then Marsha said in Houston too.
And you, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Texas is known for its barbecue. Like seriously, they don't play. They like invest all the money they can.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right, cool.
No.
So let's
But moving on.
moving on.
Moving on, did you see this week on a different note, the Sussexes they signed a letter, and a completely different note here. They signed a letter for with all these
Vaccine.
different, huh? Yeah, for the
Regarding the
the
vaccine.
people's vaccine.
Yeah,
What
I
did
saw
you
that.
think?
Yeah, I mean, it's completely in line with what they stand for. They were the Vax Life. They held what do you call it? They helped organizations donate and pledge. And so that's I'm not surprised that's what they'll do because we still have more than half of the world not fully vaccinated, right? Like
Right.
there are countries that 1% of the population have been vaccinated and probably just one vaccination. And so this COVID pandemic is not out of the woods at all. We might be in the US or some of these Western countries, and because we are fully vaccinated and we still have a few people, well, who are not vaccinated, and we complain about that, and even perhaps we're at least in New York we're moving forward, or the whole country really, right? Moving
Mm,
forward, we're opening up things, so we might forget and think that we're all good. We're not.
right.
The moment people are flying over from other countries who are not vaccinated, and what are we going to do? Prevent them from not coming to the country because they're not vaccinated? What if they say they don't have the vaccine? What are we going to do? Not have businesses travel back and forth to other countries?
Right.
You can tell them to wear masks, but what is that going to do? I mean, how are you going to hold someone accountable to wear masks when they travel from a country that is not fully vaccinated to the U.S.? So I say all this to say that we are not out of the woods. We're in the United States, and we think we are because
Mm-hmm.
we have access to the vaccine if you want to, and people are choosing not to. It's like literally begging people to get vaccinated. But that's
Right.
a whole
Yeah.
different story,
Yeah.
a whole different topic there. So yeah, I mean, I strongly stand by them, and I think what they're doing is great. And this is something that needs to not be quiet because I know I was talking to somebody from Ghana, and they were like, "Yeah, we are now vaccinated," and they're
Right.
just going about their life, and soon we might think it's the vaccine is the virus is gone, right? But it's not. It's still there.
Right.
That's what's the scariest thing about this whole thing, that it can come back, and when it mutates, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, yeah, and that is exactly what this letter says. In the middle it says, sadly, despite what some leaders in wealthy country would like us to believe, the pandemic is not over. But it is within our grasp to end it and ensure everyone is vaccinated. This requires giving everyone everywhere access to safe, effective vaccines and other life-saving COVID-19 technologies. This is possible thanks to the incredible advances in science and the public investments of governments around the world. And the biggest block to vaccine equity has been the EU, the UK, of course, and Switzerland. And it's just like they were not willing to lift the restrictions on the intellectual property so that other nations who have the means to, who can, make these vaccines to be able to do it. And it's just, and it's so right. It's kind of like, in the US, it because especially say in New York, where 2 years ago we were having 800 to 900 people a day dying. Now it's down to maybe double digits. It's still people dying, but compared to 800 people a day, which was, you remember, Pam, it was like some of the darkest, well, really was
Yeah,
were the darkest days of my life. We've never experienced anything like that, obviously.
right.
But now, it seems everything is lifted, the dark cloud is lifted, and it seems like, okay, we're back to normal. And like you said, in some countries, many people are not vaccinated. Most of them, or some of them, may have one. And so the fact that this is still a thing 2 years later, it's kind of like we're just not learning. We're just
Yeah.
not learning. And it's so frustrating. And I am so glad that the Sussexes, and I should have started this comment. Who said it? Diane. Diane says, Meghan and Harry are consistent and persistent. Vaccine equity, civil rights, women's rights, human rights, war in Ukraine, and name it. They speak up. And you're so right. That was one of the things that they've been really on vaccine equity for last, since it's really 2020. And I'm glad that they, with global citizens, and now, with this letter, this is like what, their second or third letter, that open letter that
Hmm.
they've written to government. This is, I think, the third one,
Yeah.
you know. And also the thing that I love about it too is, I don't know if everyone had got a chance, because I think I posted it in our community page. Look at the people that have signed this letter. I mean, I don't know if you guys had a chance to look through and see who it is. So much more than the last two, and a lot of the people that signed this letter are former presidents and prime ministers of other countries like Bulgaria, Timor, Spain, Jordan. Bulgaria. So many, even the former prime minister of Bhutan and Georgia. You know, and it's Latvia, UK. I mean, Gordon Brown. It's funny because the British, some in the British press are like, Harry and Meghan are getting into British politics. I'm like, your former prime minister signed this letter. Are you going to go after him too? You know, it's crazy. But it's so great to see how many, former presidents and prime ministers and World Bank leaders and all of that stuff who have signed on this letter. So it gives me hope that maybe now, with all of those names, that people will start listening.
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, and as long as countries with presidents and allow politics to come to play, then this, unfortunately, this virus is going to linger on. And
Yeah,
it's not to say that it's going to be 100% eliminated, but it's like we want to get as close as possible. And at this point, we're not close at all.
right.
We think, because again, I hate to be, you know, repeating this myself, but because we live in a country where we have so much access, we think sometimes you get you forget the other people in the world exist, and so different from what is going on.
Exactly.
Um, and
Exactly.
and 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 also, just wanted to say that what have been said by the CDC, at least in the United States, people who are still being admitted are people who are not vaccinated,
Mm,
right? So let's be clear that people who are vaccinated, when they even get it, they're not admitted. Like, if you get it and you're fully vaccinated or boosted, it's a very slight symptoms,
yeah.
and you're good. But those who are being admitted and getting under being ventilated are people who are not vaccinated.
Not vaccinated. Yeah.
So so
Yeah.
if
And
that's
Roto said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
so if that's doesn't say tell you anything, it's like this virus is still fully operating. It's
Yeah.
not on vacation, hasn't taken a break. It's not sitting somewhere having lunch and waiting. It's it's living, fully activated, and it's doing its thing, looking
Yeah.
for a warm body that it can live in and cause havoc. So that's
Yeah.
what it is.
And Roto said, the world survived the Spanish flu pandemic. It will survive COVID, and it will. But the thing that I have with that Roto is, or I hope it's Roto or Roto, is that so many people will die that they'll have to die. That if they had gotten vaccinated, could have saved their life, and that's the thing. The world. I mean, we'll survive it. I mean,
Yeah,
this
I mean,
too shall
tell
pass.
that
But
to a
so
family
many
who's lost five
people,
people. Tell that to a family who's lost five people, or 10
right?
people, or or
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
one person, or both parents died and left
One
and left
person
a
is too
4-year
many.
old.
Yeah.
Tell that to them, and let them take that, hear you say that and see how they feel. Yes, we know the world will survive, but tell that to, that 4-year old who both mom and dad died and doesn't have any family, to take care of him. Tell that to, I don't know if you remember, the New Jersey family that 8 of them died during the peak of COVID. Tell that to them, so yeah,
Whoa, I didn't know that.
yeah, there was a family, like mom and dad died, and then sisters and then brothers just caught it. One person called it and spread it, and it took them all out.
Wow, I had no
Um,
idea.
and so, so tell that to them and say, oh, we survived the Spanish flu, so yes, like logically, what you're saying, yes, we will. Mankind, there will be remnants of us, right, to move forward. Thank God for the vaccine again. So we will we will move forward past this, but not for
Hmm.
those who have lost family members, like a lot of family members, right? So it's
Yeah,
we have to be careful when we say those things. Even though I
yeah,
understand where you're coming from, yes, a lot. I think
yeah,
the Spanish flu lasted for like 4 years, 3 to 4 years. Um,
yeah,
and we didn't have social media and misinformation at that point. So people, even though sanitary wise it was horrible, still people really came, to understand it and really did what they need to do to reduce it and eliminate it to some extent. But
hmm,
now we have social media, misinformation, and disinformation, um, and all that stuff. So that plays a key. That's why most people don't want to get vaccinated. Listen,
yeah. Daniel
take this
said,
on.
Daniel Medical. Hi, Daniel. Daniel is a 2 cent screw. Um, Daniel said, I was in Africa last year. People there did not want to want to be vaccinated. And I'm sure in every country there are some people that don't want to get vaccinated. But the point of vaccine equity is so that the people who do want to get vaccinated. And that's the thing. It's like there are people who don't want it, obviously, and
But
everywhere you'll find that. My
but
own family, to be honest, my my mom is like, no, she just does not want to go anywhere near a needle of any kind, and she's like a no. You know what I mean? And so there are going to be people that well, but it is there for people who want it. And so it's not fair if they want it. That even last week I heard that there are, I think it was in this country, where all these vaccines are going to expire at the end of March. And that shouldn't be where you have all these vaccines expiring when there are countries where people actually want it. Of course, there are going to be people that don't want it. But the ones that want it, it should be available for them. If we're not providing it, at least lift the restrictions, lift that in the restriction on the individual, in the intellectual property, so that people could make it and to give it to people who want it.
so the whole
And
thing about Africa, people not want it, is also boiled down to misinformation and disinformation. Spoke to my family back home, and they were like, "Well, they said we would die when we take it." That is misinformation and disinformation.
right,
And I had to really talk to my cousin about it. And then now she went and she's like, "Okay, great, I will get vaccinated when I get it." But these people are not like going to go on social media and like really or listen to the news. Well, they're trusting whatever is coming through social media or what somebody else is spreading. So there are
hmm
people who are here who have left the United States and gone back to their various African countries and equally spreading disinformation.
wow,
Right. So there is a whole big machinery that's taking place behind the scenes that people are being influenced. So yes, if somebody in Africa said they don't want to get vaccinated because truly they don't have the full information and they don't have the vaccine in the first place. So it's easy for them to say, well, I'm not going to get vaccinated. Well, you don't have it. But trust to believe that if an African country people start dying at a
hmm
high rate like we did in New York, and they have the vaccine, African presidents will make it a law. You will get vaccinated. Trust and believe.
right,
They don't have that, oh, it is my right thing in America.
right, yeah, yeah, in Africa, yeah,
They
yeah,
will get you vaccinated because
yeah,
of the way, because it can easily spread and kill way more people. Thank
right,
God, for some
yeah.
reason, you know, they've been there have been deaths, yes, but it hasn't been as huge as the Western country, some
Right. It
Western
definitely
countries,
hasn't been New York was oh my goodness, that was a
or
nightmare.
China, or Italy, or any of
Exactly.
those, or the UK, right?
Exactly.
So,
Well, the great thing about this is not only did Archwell, Harry and Meghan signed a letter, they also now are investors in the People's Vaccine. People Vaccine tweeted about it. Was it yesterday? My days are rolling into one. I don't remember. But they tweeted, it says, we're proud to welcome Archwell Foundation. And the director of Archwell is actually also signed the letter. It says, we're proud to welcome Oshawa Foundation to the Alliance and appreciate their support alongside Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We will work together to end vaccine inequity and ensure COVID-19 vaccines, treats, and tests are available to everyone. Oshawa Foundation has invested in the People's Vaccine Alliance, a coalition of over 90 organizations, health experts, economists, health states, state leaders, that um, activists that's mission is to ensure that everyone across the world has access to COVID-19 vaccines, uh, tests and treatments. Archwell's support will go towards the Alliance ongoing campaign and effort to secure fair vaccine access for low and middle income countries and bring an end to the global COVID-19 pandemic. Thank the Lord. So yeah, so Harry and Meghan once again putting their money where their mouth is. They're not just saying, you know, do something countries, but they are now investors in the people's vaccine, and I just think that it's so fantastic, that they are putting their money there, they are supporting it. And I mean, as who I forgot who said it earlier, is like they are just so consistent. with what they do. And it's great because, not only are they, we know that they're invested in this, we know from the last time they're also, again, invested in these organizations for, Women's History Month, National Law Center, Smart Work, Georgetown Law, and 19. So they're just doing like all these really cool investments in women and, in countries, middle and low income countries, you know? And so I just think, I mean, talk about rising above royalty. That's why I titled this "Rising Above Royalty" because if you guys notice, before Harry and Meghan started being public about their donations to different organizations, it was apparently royal taboo for the royal family to see that they're donating privately to different organizations. All of a sudden, Harry and Meghan are doing this, and all of a sudden you're hearing this. Oh, the Queen donated to this person for Ukraine, and Prince Charles donated here, and the Cambridges donated there. And it was just like, oh, so it's not against royal rules and etiquette rules, so that you guys will, you know, say that you're donating. Because what I think happened is with Harry and Meghan being public about their donations, it put a spotlight on the royal family who don't donate. They weren't making it public because there was nothing to make public. They weren't doing it. You know, I read in a book where the queen would go to church with $20 in her purse, so that's what she gives to the collection. I mean, I'm not, people can give whatever they want. It's about the heart, but this is a billionaire, and maybe I'm wrong, but to judge her for that, but I'm like, you're a billionaire and you're only giving $20. And so, yes, maybe that's wrong, but I was judging her in my heart. So
That's funny. Um,
it said that she has $20 in her purse, and that's what she gives.
wow.
Yeah. So that's all. That's why I thought like, no, these people are not giving. That's why they put the spotlight because people are now starting to be like, okay, if Harry and Meghan are giving all this, what are you giving? What are you giving back? You're supposed to have all these charities and you're patrons of all these charities, and you go to the events for like 45 minutes, whatever, that the charity basically gets no benefit from. But what are you giving? What benefit are you what are you bringing to those charities financially, as opposed to asking other people to donate? What are you donating? So yeah.
Mm,
So I feel like
yeah.
Harry and Meghan put a spotlight on them because all of a sudden, people started like,
Yeah. I wanted to quickly talk about this. I don't know if anybody saw this, but I don't know who posted this. Was it Thrive? Or somebody posted this on Twitter. Correct me if anybody saw this, but was it the guy who was supposed to be paid? Said that he was asked to say that he dated or slept with Megan Rex. His name is.
oh, I actually saw like very quickly. You mean the
Yeah,
guy who the tabloids asked to? They told him to say that he slept with Megan for $70,000 or something.
guy that we're gonna pay him $70,000, and he declined. Yeah. So I was reading somewhere, and apparently he said, uh, so Megan sent him a thank you note, um, and said that she was grateful that there were so good people out there. And it came up in an interview because he's working on this movie, which I think he got nominated for something,
Oh,
some
really?
state
Okay.
award or something. And so it was one of these sit down chats that he, just going through his whole career and how where he is now from where he started from, and all that
Mm,
in between. And in the conversation, he was asked about it. It came up, and he said, "Yeah," and how they willing to pay him $70 for him to lie. He was never going to do that. And so that he did get a thank you note from Megan, basically summarizing that
yeah.
there are good people out there, and so he
Yeah.
framed it, and it's still in his house. Um, and I was like, wow, nobody even knew that, right? That Megan
Right.
knew and heard about it. So I mean, they hear these things, right? And she thanked him for it. So I thought that was really good to hear.
Yes. And someone's, yes, Sistren said, yes, Simon Rex, and somebody else posted
Simon
that
Rex.
it was Simon Rex. Yes. And, it's funny with that. Someone else had posted under, one of the squaddies posted this. And then under there, because I was reading under the post, and someone else had said that, and again, I don't have the proof. I don't know where it is. They mentioned that a tabloid had contacted some girl that works for Meghan. I don't know if it's on the TIG or what, but she worked for Meghan,
Yeah,
and they were trying to pay her money to say that Meghan bullied her, and she said no, she's not going to lie. And
yeah.
Simon Rex, in this interview, he also said, he's like, I'd rather be on food stamps than do that, you know, and that's why when I saw when it said Megan said, thank you that she's happy that there are still good people in the world. I'm like, yeah, not everybody is willing. And he was saying he was broke. He
Very
really
broke.
needed the money, and so I'm glad he's doing well, and he can actually look himself in the mirror and said, you know what, I didn't sell out. I didn't sell out somebody with lies, and I just think that is
But
so
look at this though. He could have taken that $70,000
yeah,
and spent it in a day or two because he was going through a lot. But look at what happened. He
yeah.
stood up for what was right, and he got. Listen, I think God just blessed him with this whole new acting gig. That because the phone, according to the phone, wasn't ringing at all.
Wow.
The phone wasn't ringing, and he knew, like, he just didn't know what to do, and out of nowhere that this call came, and look at that. So
Yeah.
now and that's, I don't know, I'm sure he put in the work and all this stuff. I also want to believe that when you put good karma out there, that it comes back to you.
Oh,
um
surely.
and so who's to say that just standing up for what is right, he got a little smile from the God above, and here it
Mhm.
is, and he has an acting gig that he actually got nominated for an award. So
That is
from
so
not
wonderful.
for not working for years and so broke that he could have taken that 70K and not doing it, look at where he is. I think his
Right.
success, it will be much more enjoyable than um
Exactly. If he had done that. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to say, like, there are 357 people here on the chat with us. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out with us as we chat
Please
about
hit
all
the
things
thumbs up.
Sussex. Thank you
Get,
guys. Thank
click
you
the thumbs
for being
up,
here
and
and chatting with us.
yeah. Definitely click the thumbs up. We want to say, Lydia, do we have any a moderator on this then yet or no?
Lydia is here. Yes, Lydia is fantastic. Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Lydia was our moderator. I just assumed. But anyways, um, if
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. But did you guys
so,
see this? Did you see this? And I know a lot of you may not be on Twitter, so you may not have seen this. This woman, Beth Pratt, yesterday, I think, she posted this. And it says, I had the honor of meeting the Duke and Duchess of Sussex yesterday. Wow. When I was a little girl, I got up at 5 a.m. to watch Princess Diana's wedding, to hear Prince Harry speak tonight and shake his hand and see so much of his mother in him was truly moving. Their amazing dedication to doing good in the world is inspiring. I love that the driving principle of their foundation is compassion. We believe that compassion is the defining cultural force of the 21st century. And yes, of course, I talk P22 and made sure they got a P22 plushie. And this was yesterday, so apparently 2 days ago. So we know Harry is back in California, is back in Santa Barbara. Harry and Meghan apparently came to an event. She's like into wildlife, and she's, I think, like the director of this wildlife place. And so Harry and Meghan were, I guess, were invited to her event, and they were there. And it was just like, it was, nobody knew. She didn't post it. Nobody would have known. And the sad part about this is that she posted it, And trolls just descended on her with all of these incredibly horrific pictures and horrific things about Harry and Meghan. She deleted the tweet, and we were like, "Oh no!" Even Chris Boozy deleted it. Talked about it. I'm sorry, about what they did to her, and wondering why is Twitter not doing something.
Christopher, not Chris. He
Yeah,
doesn't
Chris
like to be called
Boozy.
Chris.
Chris Boozy,
No,
and
Christopher, not Chris. He doesn't like to be called Chris.
oh, Christopher. Okay, Christopher Boozy. Sorry. And so when she deleted it, some of the trolls were basically celebrating that they got her to delete, and then she reposted it. And this is what she said. That's why she says, "Trying this again. We want to celebrate two people without trolls." And she said apparently when she first posted it, she didn't have a time to be able to go in and block them. So she took down the post, and then so all the squaddies, like she's gotten a whole bunch of follows now. And we were all thanking her for not giving in to trolls, but
Right.
fighting
Yeah.
and putting it back up. And so it was just great. It's like nobody knew Harry and Meghan were at an event. No, and this is how it should be. So I just think it was fantastic.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's just the same. They just do the same thing they do every time when people post stuff. And they now they go after people who are not used to them, right? Somebody
Right.
new. Because if a squatty posts stuff like that, and most squatties have the mute button or will block them or are blocked, they are blocked, so
Yeah.
you don't see that. But if it's somebody new who doesn't know how how this world is and steps
Mhm.
into it just innocently, they are like vultures. They just attack.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you're not prepared for it, you run, which is a rightful reaction, because you're like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, I don't need this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that this had to happen to her.
Yeah.
But now she knows. She was like, nope, coming back strong. So
Yeah. So
now
no,
she
it's
knows.
fantastic. I just think it's fantastic. Um. Uh.
Anyway, yeah,
One thing I saw people in the post. Apparently there's, and I haven't read it. I haven't been on Twitter in the last couple of hours, so I have not read it. But I know a lot of people are. I see people who are posting about. I guess there's an article about Samantha Markle. Christopher Boozy mentioned that it was going to be happening.
yeah.
I
He
don't
says
know. I
Samantha
haven't read
Markle's
it, so
about
I
to go
don't
through
know
some
what is in
things.
there. I can't chat about it.
Well,
Unfortunately, I haven't been on Twitter in the last 2 or 3
well,
hours.
no.
So
So here it is. Um, what's her name again? Wally. Is it something Wally? What's that troll's
Yankee
name?
Wally, that's one of the
Yankee
people.
Wally and Samantha are in cahoots. And I think Christopher said Samantha's about to go through some things, and usually when he says
Right, I
that,
saw his tweet. Yes.
well, not usually, anytime he says that, something is going to happen.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's the insinuation, because he said, "Let me have my popcorn and wine or something ready," because
Yeah, I saw that tweet. Yeah.
something, yeah, and because Yankee, while he's about to go through something himself herself, is it he, a she or he? I can't know. Yeah, but
It's a she, as far as I know.
she,
Yeah, she.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I mean, listen.
It can
But
be
we all
one
know that
woman.
Samantha wants to take Megan to court for whatever. It's like, you don't even. What are you gonna do? Sell your wheelchair to sponsor this? Like, who is sponsoring her? Like,
Most likely
seriously,
the Daily Mail.
the Daily Mail did not even win with Harry. It was Megan.
But the
How
point
was
is
that?
not to win. The point is just to torment and harass. It's not to
Yeah,
win.
well, it's
It's
not
like
gonna
to
happen.
torment and harass so they can do more articles. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, Megan is not going to indulge. It's like she's
Yeah.
not going to indulge. They said they're going to give it the least amount of attention.
Yeah.
Um, and so,
Exactly.
yeah, that's
So yeah,
like
and I brought
really,
it up because I saw people in the chat were talking, and I'm like, unfortunately, I haven't read. Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter or anything, so I haven't
well,
been
we
able to
shall
watch
find
it.
out. I
Yeah.
can't wait for Christopher to say what he's doing, working behind the scenes, because you never know.
Yeah.
Um, I won't be surprised if Christopher is working is in touch with their successes at this point.
I
Um,
know.
I won't be surprised. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I,
Oh,
for once,
changing top.
know.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry.
No,
Oh,
so go ahead.
Daniel said, what did Daniel say? Samantha is backed by people like, oh Lord, Piers Morgan. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
Actually, I don't
I
think
wouldn't.
so. I
I
don't think
wouldn't.
Pierce, and I dislike Pierce to the bottom of the ocean because Pierce doesn't like Samantha. Did you when Pierce was like,
I know, but I think again, I don't. The reason why I say I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is involved in this. It again, it is not about liking the person or agreeing with but their point is whether it's Pierce or the Daily Mail or the Sun, the goal is not to even to win. The goal is to harass because the more they harass, the more they get press, the more articles they can write about it. And that is the goal. And so that's why I think that's why with Meghan and Harry, they don't give them any air. They literally ignore them because I'm sure they could, maybe take them. I mean, I don't know what the charge would be if say they take Pierce Morgan to court or whatever, but that's the reason why they just literally don't pay attention to him because
mhm,
any kind of attention is what they want. They're harassing and harassing and harassing to get attention. That's what he does to every other especially woman, and then those women end up on his show. That's why he even, when he was promoting the show at the beginning, he was like he wants Megan to come on his show that she owes some stupidness like that. She owes him or something like that. That's the point. So they would use whatever means to get that. And that's what they do. They've done it before and have been successful with other people. So I think that's what they're trying to do again.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
So moving on, did you see this? I mean, I don't know if you kept up with this with Nadine. You think so, Nadine? Nadine White,
yeah,
the reporter.
Nadine writes.
Yeah. Did you keep up with this story?
But everybody, I think everybody knows this by now. She's the one that even though Palmer was the person that provided the information, she's being held and attacked brutally by trolls, and royal reporters.
Yep.
It's her and Scobie and Bernice, Dr. Bernice Keene,
Mhm.
and this is where I was actually quite honestly the conversation about about Jamaica was always because Tina was on Tina's spaces that because Nadine is Jamaican,
Right.
Jamaican, and so the conversation about how where is Jamaican tweeted people, why aren't they coming and protecting her, and so it was part of that whole conversation yesterday, and that led to the other Jamaican conversation. But yeah, she I don't even know. She's a trooper. She's holding
Yeah.
in there. I saw her
Yeah.
last tweet yesterday. I think she's like about when she's going to pour libation and just that's all she can do at this point.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's so
But
funny. I responded to her. I'm like, I love your spunk. You know.
yeah,
you know.
she'll be fine. She is going through it, but she will pull through, and I'm hoping that by pulling through that she gets a show somehow in the US
Hmm.
uh, to rub it in,
Yeah.
where she is able to really stick it to them and call them out and have the platform to do so
Right.
because it was not her fault and why people are not reading and realizing that it was Richard Palmer and his 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 spineless attitude that he was forced to retract and come up with like I misheard and misunderstood like there's only you in the room pretty much. How are you going to misheard and misunderstood or whatever the case may be? um and you've been a journalist for like 15, 20 years. How is that possible? And if that is, then he should be fired, like somebody said. Then he should be fired because he was willing, he lied then. Why is he not in trouble? Why is Nadine being in trouble when Nadine just got the information from Homer.
Right.
Like, what's the got to do with this? I wasn't there. She should say I was given the information. Like everybody else was given the information. I reported on it. Why am I being attacked?
Right. And the funny thing with this is, I don't think he misheard.
No, we all know that. That's what I'm saying. He was he after he report. Richard Palmer did not misheard. He heard exactly what William said. He wrote
Mhm.
exactly what William said, and then they
Mhm.
came to him and said, "Listen, if you want to have access and have a job, you need to take this
Mhm.
back." And then
Exactly.
he whistled out and took it back. That's
Mhm.
so yeah. Like I mean, who on earth doesn't know this? Unless you're a troll and you think part of the whole um team with Williams and supportive of William and the whole Royal Rotor.
Mhm.
This is fabricated. This is a lie. This is a
Yeah.
machine. They wanted to cover things up. It was Williams PR, like
Mhm.
in full force.
Yep. And that's the thing with this is, because they keep saying, "Oh, well, the thing that when the more I read his statement, every time I read his statement, it's like, notice he doesn't say that William did not say that. He never said that. He never says William didn't say those things. It's like he doesn't appear to say that. And even in his other statement, it says, he says, I was convinced I heard Africa and Asia mentioned, but I misheard. And it's just was one of like, I don't think he like you said, he didn't mishear. And I think what happened, and he explained it in a video he did his first Facebook Live the other day. And I wish I could pull those videos in, but I can't because obviously it's the Express's copyright thing. But one of the things he said, is like, it dropped, and then when it dropped, that whole night, that whole thing blew up. Like, you saw what 30,000 retweets or whatever of Nadine's statement. He said that the camera crew that was there, they weren't able to look that night, but the next day they looked to check the footage to make sure that Asia and Africa, that the Asia Africa comment was in there, and they didn't find it. The thing with this is, I believe they have that footage because what they did when it came out the next day, Lissy Robinson from ITV is the one that dropped the video, and then she typed out what William said. The video looked like this. It looked like an old '80s cell phone video if there was video in the '80s cell phone, but it's just this horrible quality video. They had a whole team, a whole camera team at that event. ITV had a whole camera team. They throughout the day they were showing different clips with great quality. This thing is the only one that they showed with horrible quality. And they also started the video in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of what Prince William was saying. Part of that video is missing. The beginning and end of that, it was edited and missing. As somebody who edits, you can totally tell it was edited and part obviously missing, as anybody could see. The conversation started. What I believe happened, ITV edited that thing out. They took that out, again, I don't have confirmation, I don't have proof that they edited out, but ITV has a history of doing this. They have a history of editing stuff out. If you guys remember, we talked about this, them editing out Scobie's comments from that documentary where Scobie talked about Prince William and his team briefing the press about Harry's mental health. Even though back in 2019, the Daily Mail, the Sun, Rebecca English, Emily Andrews, they all wrote about it, and Kensington Post said nothing. When Scobie talked about it, ITV edited that out of the documentary. Even the Oprah interview, ITV edited out because the Daily Mail claimed that some of the press clippings that was in the documentary make them look racist. ITV went in and edited those out. ITV has a history of doing that. So this is what I
I mean,
believe
I think
happened.
we all know that at this point, right? Like this is not news to us. It's so clear that that's what they did. Am I surprised? I don't think anybody's really surprised. That's their
Well,
MO.
some people may not know ITV's history, and I like to give background and facts. So there you go.
No, no, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying I'm making my own comments. That is their MO. This is something that we know that they do. We're not shocked about it. It's something that they do constantly because they don't want to be exposed.
Yeah,
They, they they cheat. It's just yeah. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it is something that we all know at this
yeah,
point. If you're a follower of the Sussexes or just interested in knowing truth and being someone who tells the truth, and you realize this is what they do constantly.
yeah,
Um, it's I'm I'm not shocked. I mean, what else would they say? Yes, William did it, said it. I mean, of course not. Then that just goes against their narrative and what they, and exposes William as who he is. So they're gonna cover up, and it's in a way I'm like, of course,
right, yeah,
of course they have to do that. I mean, this is their future king, and so they have to lie and protect. But we all know, we heard, and like you said, if you're editing, you can tell. There's the basic thing for me is that Richard Palmer is. I even hate saying this about him. I don't like the guy because of I don't respect. He has no integrity. But there's no way he's going to make that lie on his favorite royal, one of his favorite royals.
right,
He's not going to go out of his way to say that. He will. Idolizes William. He will write everything down William said. And the truth is, I don't think Richard Palmer wrote that thing down being aware that what was said was racist. It was
right,
just something that he was writing down because for him, he is not plugged into what sounds racist or not. It is part of his white privilege as the same as Williams, and so he is just taking notes. It didn't click. If it did, he wouldn't have said it in the first place. If he knew what Williams said was wrong, he would have edited it out. He
right,
didn't know that. He didn't care. It wasn't part of his language. It was out of his reality. So he sent it. That's what I'm saying. This is yeah. Of course they edited it. And of course that's why he has to come up with all this pretzel twisting answers. But yeah, he just thought William said what he said, and to him it made perfect sense. We've never
right,
seen anything like that. It only happens in Africa and Asia. It's alien. That's why he wrote it down. Richard Palmer wrote it down confidently, not because he thought a second that what William said was wrong. It wasn't until everyone else, including Nadine, started talking about it and wrote about it that people, society was like, hey, wait a minute. And that's when the whole thing said. So it's like, it is, it is
yeah,
that. It's a MO that like we always say, most people say on Twitter, I'm just glad the Texans are not there. They moved out, they're living their best life and continue to make impacts in this world and make difference